Okay, we're about ready to get started, and to my left is head coach Dawn Staley, Elena Coates, Asia Dozier, Tiffany Mitchell, Kadisha Sessions, and Elisa Welch. And we'll go ahead and open up with questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand. We'll go ahead and get started.
With the state, Asia, it seemed like you might be a little hesitant to shoot from outside last night. Were you guys trying to space out those possessions, or did you just want to get a cleaner look?
I mean, our initial game plan was to go inside because, I mean, that's what we've been doing all season, and that's what's been successful for us. So Coach always says if you have an open shot early in the shot clock, more than likely you'll have that same shot under 10. So that's when the shots are expected, and that's when we have the best rebounding position. So I just wait patiently, and it usually works out for the best.
David Caravello, Charleston Post-Courier. For Elisa and Tiffany, you guys have worked so hard to get over that Sweet 16 hump. Now that you're finally here, how do you balance the excitement of being at this point with the focus of having to win one more game?
I think you have to maintain your focus because this isn't the point in our season that we want to be. As far as to say, okay, well, we got over that Sweet 16 hump. Now we're satisfied. We still have bigger and better goals for ourselves. But we took in the win last night while we still could. But when it came down to it, we had to get focused because we still have another game tomorrow.
Tiffany?
I agree.
Right here in front.
Okay, Michelle Vogel of ESPN.com. Tiffany, more than 2 words this time. Talk about, you've made a lot of big shots in your career, but the shot last night, can you just talk about, did you kind of, when it was all over, did you watch it again on video, or just some of your thoughts on making that shot, and also how much you've grown as a player that you want the ball in your hands in those situations all the time?
People sent the video to me after the game, so I kind of got to see it. But Coach Staley just drew up a play, just trying to get the ball into my hands, and Lisa set me a screen on the baseline, and I kind of just read it from there, my defender, and I saw an open lane, so I took it. I think that the confidence just comes from Coach Staley and my teammates pretty much, want me to take that shot, and the confidence from them just rubs off on me, and I feel comfortable taking that shot.
Any more questions? Okay. 4th row on the left.
Matt Connolly with Fox Carolina. Elisa, how much did it mean to you last night when you weren't playing maybe one of your better games to have your teammates pick you up and carry you as a senior to the Elite Eight?
It definitely meant a lot. Like you said, it's my senior year, and I definitely didn't have the game that I wanted. But we had a lot of different people who stepped up. And one of the main people who was a fellow senior of mine, which was Olivia Gaines. So it just meant a lot that and I think it just shows the depth of our team because like I said, I didn't have the game I wanted, but we had a lot of different people who in the biggest moments of the game shined their brightest probably of the entire season. So it meant a lot to me that my teammates were there to pick me up with the game I was having.
Rick Henry, WSTV. Elisa, to follow up with that, since you didn't have one of your better games last night, how determined are you to come out tomorrow and to make sure that your season doesn't end?
The determination factor is always there, but last night's game isn't, going to be in the back of my mind as far as when we play tomorrow. You just got to let it go. We're still able to play tomorrow, so that's the most important part. You attack the game with the game plan that we set up, and you do what you have to do to get a win. But I'm not really the type of person to harp on a bad game. You just got to let it go, and you got to continue to play because we're in a situation where we do have the opportunity to still be able to play.
For Lisa and Elena, Florida State's front line's pretty big, 6'1", 6'4", 6'2". How much of a challenge will it be to try to keep them contained like you mostly did against Mavunga last night?
Me first. They do have a big front line, and it presents a different challenge than probably what we've seen all season, except with the exception of Duke. I think the biggest thing is their rebounding. They're a really good rebounding team. So trying to contain that aspect of it and limit them to one shot on the offensive end. But you got to do your work early. You got to make them work for everything. You can't give them anything easy. But we just got to make sure we do what we're supposed to do heading into the game.
And just kind of piggybacking off what Lisa said, execution is going to be key, and we just need to make sure we're doing our jobs defensively and offensively.
Elena, can you talk about just where you are as a player now, as a sophomore, as opposed to a freshman? It's always a big learning curve for post players, and you're a big target. Can you talk about both how you've progressed as a player with fitness, with your moves, with your mentality as a sophomore?
Last year as a freshman, I know I didn't really trust in my moves as much as I do now. I was a little impatient. I just wanted to get a shot up and just get down the court. But now I'm really just looking at things and seeing which, shot's best for me. Should I pass it out? Should I not? I'm just really keeping a level head and making sure that I stay in the game and don't get frustrated.
Tiffany, neither South Carolina nor Florida State has ever been to the Final Four. Does that make it perhaps feel more real or more wide open that, this is going to be a first-timer going regardless of who wins tomorrow?
I guess, but our ultimate goal is to win national championship, so that's what we're going to try to do tomorrow, or get to the Final Four tomorrow.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Got one in the row on the left.
At least, obviously, the goal is to win a national title, but just what would it mean to you, coming from where you started with this program 4 years ago, to make it to the first Final Four in program history?
Yeah, it would definitely be a big deal. That's something that I wanted coming in when I made my decision to come here. So, to kind of be staring it right in the face, I guess you could say, with our game tomorrow. It would be something that I could just, once again say it was something I was able to accomplish in my career here at South Carolina because, even from when Coach Staley first recruited me, it was a goal that I wanted to achieve with my team at some point in time in my career. So, of course, we do have a bigger goal at hand, but, you savor the moment, and something like that would definitely be something that's just big for me and something I'll be able to take for myself, years after I graduate.
This is for Khadijah. We always talk about the depth on this team, but I wonder if you could address specifically the depth at guard. And, last night a great example with Tina coming in the minutes she played and Olivia. Can you just sort of talk about how all season that's been the case, that you guys have sort of picked each other up, both offensively and defensively with a guard position?
We have a lot of guards. A lot of guards that's capable of doing different things, bringing different things to the table. And last night, as you said, Tina Roy and Olivia Gaines stepped up and contribute big for us on the defense and the offensive end. It's just a blessing that sometimes it might not be your game, and somebody on the bench can come up and pick you up. That's what's so special about this team, and we've been doing it all season. Talking about bench production, one of the best in the country, if not the best, coming off the bench. And we take pride in our bench, coming in and stepping in for, the players that's not doing what they can in that game. We have a tremendous bench, tremendous depth in the guard and post position. So that's one great thing about us.
Donna, same thing. Their front line is really big, really tall. They like to get up on the glass. How difficult of a challenge will it be to try to keep them off the rebounds?
It's a huge challenge. It's something that they do extremely well. It's going to be probably the number one key to the basketball game. We just have to be disciplined. We have to, those, hours that we spent preseason, the drills that we do every day in practice, the boxing out, and being deliberate, and making sure that we don't give people extra possessions is going to be key for this particular game. So, hopefully our players will do that and execute that tomorrow.
Don, you've talked about focus all season. After an emotional game last night, getting over a hump they've been wanting to get over for so long against the team they've been wanting to beat for so long, do you have to stress that more, or do you feel like that it's so ingrained now that they just know it instinctively?
I think, our team has been a creature of habit. We've been able to focus in on the task at hand, and we have been able to turn the page and focus in on the next task. And I think we'll stay in character when it comes to that. Obviously it's a great win for our program. It's a great milestone, but it's not our destination game. It's not, what we intended to do this season. It's along the way, but it's not, it's part of what we wanted to do.
Dawn, can I ask sort of the similar thing that I asked Elena about her progress this year, both in the minutes that she can play out there and just how she's learned to be a big-time post player?
Elena, we sometimes forget that she's just a sophomore because it seems like she's been in our program for so long. And I think sometimes the game is played extremely fast from a post player's eyes. And it needs to just slow down. And you need experience to understand it. You also have to have the knowledge as a coach to give to your player. You could say things, but sometimes things can go over their head. So you have to figure out, we had to figure out how she takes in information, how she's seeing things. And, what we've done is, Coach Taylor, we just try to familiarize where she is on the floor. She has to understand where she is on the floor, and we give her certain moves to where she is on the floor. If she's off the block a little bit, she knows, what to do. I'm not going to say what she's going to do. If she's in the paint, 2 feet in the paint, she knows what to do. And she's not, a selfish player at all. She's probably one of our better passers. And I think Asia Wilson has been a recipient of her passing. So, we look forward. We want her to have a tremendous postseason, so she can feel that confidence going into summer workouts. She's committed to staying all summer long. So, we're just looking for her to continue to grow and be a dominant post, be the best post player in the country next year.
Dawn, you're familiar with Shakayla Thomas. Just what kind of player is she? How can she impact the game? And how close was it to her being a player for you?
Well, Shakayla would probably have to answer that question. But we recruited her, extremely hard. We felt like for the same thing she does for Florida State, she is an incredible athlete. She can rebound in traffic. She can get down the floor fairly quickly. She's got great basketball instincts and IQ, and she has an incredible will to win. So she poses somewhat of a matchup problem for us. Hopefully we could just use our experience against her. Where she'll be going up against someone like a senior, Lisa Welch, and hopefully we can use our experience against her youth and her athleticism.
Dawn, based on past experiences with Elisa, what type of performance are you expecting from her tomorrow with her coming off a bad game?
Lisa's about winning. She's not about, her own stats, because, obviously we got a team full of players. And, for her to play like she did, she's not one that always fills the stat sheet. I think we have to credit her for some of the intangibles that she brings to the game. So statistically, wasn't, where she normally is, but, you have to account for, the intangibles. She had a tough defensive assignment where, she had to clog up the paint for us for all the penetration. So I think we probably wore her down a little bit to where she wasn't able to perform as she normally does on an offensive end. But she'll be Lisa. She'll be Lisa tomorrow. She'll communicate, You know, she'll be our emotional leader, and you know, along the lines, I think she'll be more of an impact from an offense. She'll have more of an impact offensively.
Dawn, how do you try to balance pounding the ball inside with your guards taking open shots when they get them? And were you happy with kind of that ratio last night?
I wasn't happy with it in the beginning of the game. I think we have to be truly calculating at the beginning of the game, and we have to let our opponents know exactly what we're trying to do, and make them defend that. Because for our perimeter players, you know, the more times that we get the ball inside, it's going to lead to more open shots for them if we're successful. You know, the shots that we took early in, you know, against North Carolina are the same shots that we can get at the end of a shot clock. And you keep North Carolina or our opponent on defense for a little bit longer, especially when it becomes a possession game. You know, North Carolina wants a lot of possessions. So if we're shooting quickly, you know, you play into their hands, and they got out to an 8-0 run because of our quick shots. So we just have to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more disciplined. And when we are, you know, it puts us in great rebounding position, and also puts our players in a position where they're taking practice shots, not contested shots, not rush shots, calculating expected shots, so we can put ourselves in a position to rebound and to get back in transition if we can't come up with an offensive rebound.
I don't know how much film you've seen, but what do you expect defensively from Florida State? Are they going to try to zone you like everybody else does, or because of their size inside, do you think they'll try to match up with you man-to-man?
Well, I mean, we probably have seen 95% man. You know, I think at this stage of the game, you're gonna do what you've done all season long. So I anticipate them playing us man. They match up with us on the perimeter and in the post. So I don't see why they wouldn't play as they've played all season long.
Any more questions for Coach? One more right here.
Don, you had 9 busloads of fans yesterday. Any word, or how many busloads do you expect to make the trip tomorrow?
As far as I know at the moment, 9 will probably be returning, but I'm sure, you know, I got to check my Twitter account to see if anybody else is coming up. Or we've gotten any more bus companies to commit to bringing our fans to Greensboro. But it was quite remarkable, you know, to see a caravan of buses, you know, coming to see us play, and, you know, the excitement that was, you know, outside of this arena, you know, before they were allowed to come in the game, and then when they came in the game, and, you know, most of Gamecock Nation was the lower bowl, and it truly got loud in there last night, and gave us the energy to get the win. So I'm hoping we can double the attendance for Sunday.